Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jimmy, and today I'm going to share with you some edits of some photos on the Samsung Galaxy S25 Series, because I was playing with the generative edit, which is using AI and filling stuff in. You can bring stuff in, bring them out, you can make things move around, you can make them bigger, smaller, and it just did a much better job than the Galaxy S24 series. Even though the S24 series did a really good job at editing things and filling stuff in, I just feel that the S25 did a better job. So I'm going to share with you just a few of the things you can do with some of your photos, and I'm going to show you just how well the S25 did when it comes down to some edits. Now, one of the first things that I do want to show you is that let's say that you go inside of your gallery, and once inside the gallery, if you head inside of your menu on the bottom right hand side, you go right here into your settings. You have a bunch of really cool settings sitting inside of here. And actually, if you love watching your videos just pop up immediately in the video player, which is what I like to use, you actually have the toggle right here to have it go automatically, which is super nice. Now, other than that, you have these options down here. You have like photo assist, the audio eraser, detail enhancer. But if you go inside of the photo assist, you just want to make sure that you turn it on. So then this way, when you do actually want to go through and do either generative edit, sketch to image, portrait studio, then it is going to have those options right below the photo that you would like to edit. So if we go back over in just a few of these different pictures right here, the first one I want to show you is me taking out this car and all of the prints underneath here, which is literally just dog prints. You're able to see that if I was to delete this car, it fills it in as if it was never even there, and you wouldn't even tell that AI was used to fill this in. So check this out. When you take a look at your picture, you go right down over here to your photo assist. And then what's inside of photo assist, this is where you see your generative edit and the sketch to image. And then if there was another option, you'd have that as well too. But right now it's only these two options, and you'll see the others come up a little bit later on. So generative edit, basically, I'm just going to tap on this car. And if you want, you can move it around. So if I wanted to maybe move this car over here and then make it slightly bigger, because it would be a bigger vehicle if it was closer, but I'm just going to simply delete this picture. Now, what it has to do is it has to fill in everything that is pretty much being covered by this car. Now, it's not like it's just a simple white wall, or you're outside where it could just throw in some trees or grass. It literally has to put in these prints. So I'm going to hit on generate. And once this is done, I'll actually zoom in, and it's almost as if there was no car there to even begin with. So check this out. This is now the new picture. So if I wanted to, I can zoom right on in, and it pretty much looks as if there wasn't even a car there. I mean, there's little movements of the little tablecloth that we had here, this little plastic cloth. It was used for a birthday, and you can kind of see that it has a little bit of lumps in there. It has all of these different little paws that's on there, the little prints. It literally looks as if nothing was there. So here's the original, and this is what it had to fill in. So let's say that I even scrolled in just a little bit, or zoomed in a little bit. We'll take a look at the original. You can just see that nowhere has any type of missteps. There's no blotches. There's no blurs. I mean, it did a perfect job, in my opinion, when it comes down to getting rid of this full entire car. And here it is. This is where it was sitting, and those paws look perfect. So I'm just going to go through. I'm going to save this one as a copy. Now, the cool thing is that you'll have it as the original and also the copy as well. Now, the next photo that I want to do is this one right up over here on the very top left-hand side. And with this one, I'm just going to take away one of these kids here. And it's actually really cool on what the AI does. Now, as you can see here, I have the options of generative edit, I have sketch to image, and now that there are faces, there's also portrait studio. So the first picture that we did, there was no faces, so they wouldn't have the option for portrait studio. So let's go back to generative edit. I'm going to tap right up over here, get rid of my little dude's best friend, and pretty much hit on this little edit button. So what it has to do now is fill in the vehicle behind, fill in maybe a little bit of trees that's back there, a little bit of a house. What exactly is it going to do with this string? Is the string of the sled going to stay up as if it's like frozen? Is it going to lay down? Is it going to disappear? Is it going to have problems? Or is there like no string at all? And this is the end result. It's as if there's absolutely nobody else in this photo. Everything, all of the lines are perfect, and all it did was drape the string on the other end of that sled. Now also you have this vehicle that's in the background. You have this little portion here of that little, it's like a little barricade. It's like brick that's right there. But pretty much this is what it looks like the before and after. So there it is, putting in some of the trees, a little bit of the landscape, a little bit of the, the rest of that house that's back there as well too. So it's able to take this string and not leave it up in the air, but it wanted to drape it over as if, they didn't delete it. It's just literally draping off the back. And then they filled in the vehicle, the snow, the street, and everything. So when it comes down to this photo, when it comes down to generative edit of, you getting rid of something or someone in a photo, it does a perfect job. Just like this one here, where it filled in this intricate little pattern of all these different paw prints. Now this next one that I want to do, I'm going to do pretty much almost the exact same thing. So I'm going to go right up over here though. And with this one, I'm going to delete not only the child, but I'm also going to delete the sled. And I want to see if it's able to get rid of every single thing as well. So it's almost as if he's just sitting there all by himself. So if somebody else photobombed, or if somebody just doesn't want their kid to be in a photo or whatever, if this is your best buddy and you wanted to show that you're at the beach or the poolside all by yourself, here you go. And it literally fills everything in. So it's putting in, a little bit of this little pole that's back there. It's putting in the street and it's straight lines as well. So if I was to move on in, granted, because this one was taken with portrait mode, the background was already blurred. So it didn't have to do a lot of small little baby detail, but it does enough that it literally looks perfect. Literally as if there was no child there to begin with. Even the sled is gone. Even the shadow, because I'm sure the kid, especially right over here underneath the sled, it created a shadow. And if you remember some of the devices in the past, and even the devices today of Apple, that shadow would still be here. Then there'd be a bunch of smudges that would happen. This one is just 100% clean, as if nothing over here was even there at all. So again, the shadows are a pretty big deal. If you remember in the past, sometimes there would at least be a shadow or something to give a hint that this was edited. Right now, you have zero idea. Even if I was to zoom in a little bit, there was just nothing there at all to go off of. So since we played with this photo right here, one of the things that I also took from it was Portrait Studio. And Portrait Studio is where you're able to, take a look at a face. And so this literally is making me think that maybe this is what Elliot is going to look like when he turns like 16 years old, 17 years old. So I saved the photo. I'm going to see, how he turns out when he gets older. But let me show you all of those options here. So when it comes down to getting another sketch or an image or a cartoon or however you want it off of a picture, just make sure that there's a face actually involved. You hit on your little generative edit, and then with this one, we're going to move over into Portrait Studio. So for this one, you can hit on Comic and then hit on Generate. Now, what I love about this new version, or at least I just noticed it with the S25 series, maybe the S24 does it now. But anyways, what will happen is when you go through these different categories right here, you'll actually have this one that's kind of highlighted, meaning that you've done it. Now we're going to go to this one. We're going to do 3D cartoon. Now, once this one is created for 3D cartoon, you'll notice that this one will also be highlighted, and all of these different categories are going to stay separate from each other. So here's your comic, which looks very similar to him. Here's another one that looks very, very close to him as well. So I'm just going to hit on save because that's a really good image. If you ever want to have another picture being done, you just go right over here to generate one more. So again, this is what he looks like. And it does a really good job in pretty much any of these categories. So here's the two for 3D cartoon. You can see that those are highlighted. Now we'll go back over to watercolor. So again, let me know if you're playing with the S24 series, if you currently have the S24. If you are doing Portrait Studio, is all of these categories being saved and being separated? Because to be completely honest, I can't remember 100%. So here we go. Let's try Sketch. This is the last one. Again, really cool and easy for you to switch between all the different categories for Portrait Studio. Let's see here. So it has a little bit of a mark on his face right there. I don't know what that is, but let's see here. Maybe he has a little something in the photo, or maybe it's a little bit of a like a light thing. So I'm going to do that one more time, and I'm going to have another option for Sketch. So again, it's super nice that you're able to, there we go. Looks a little bit better. This one had a little bit more of a mark. This one has less of a mark. So it's probably maybe a piece of hair or, something. Anywho's, now you have this image here. You also have your watercolor. Here's your 3D cartoon, and here's your comic. So again, makes it very simple. All of these are all separated. You can go between all of them. You can move on over between all the pictures. You can also generate more. So if we want to do another one of the comic options, right? You just go right there and you go to that category, and that's it. So they made it very simple, very easy. Pretty much anybody is able to do it. So there we go. And we got another one. So I don't think that one looks as much like him. This one looks much more like he does. This one I think is also a very good image of him. It has a little bit of that little smiley face on there too. That pretty much came from his little shirt that he was wearing that has little smiley faces on it. So that's pretty much almost everything that I wanted to show you. And another thing that you are able to do if you're playing with generative edit is not just, deleting something or creating, another sketch of them. If you want, you can completely move an object. So for this one, I can move it right over here, and then I can make it bigger because since it is closer to the camera, I can put it like right there, and then I can hit on generate. Now, not only did it make it bigger, it moved it, now it also has to fill in everything behind it, which should be all of the paw prints, just like it did from before. And if you were to zoom in again, you probably wouldn't be able to tell. So it's pretty fun that you can play with a whole bunch of stuff. Again, you can take a look at the original. But yeah, you can have a lot of fun when it comes down to edits. You can also do some drawing. I'm very bad at drawing. I guess I can show you that one too, just to kind of end off this video. So sketch to image, maybe you wanted to show off, maybe another car. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to put another, thing there, bring it on up. Let's see, bring it on down. Maybe put in like a little door, a little bit of a windshield. And there we go. So, as I mentioned from before, I am not an artist. I cannot draw great at all. But then that's kind of like, a little bit of a vehicle right there. So it's kind of nice that it's able to kind of put something else in there for you. So here's this option. This is pretty much what I drew. This is one of the options it gave me. It gave me a car right next to the other car, and it almost made it the exact same color, and it kind of knew it was a sports car. So let's see what another picture does as well. And you can always draw it again if you want. This one's kind of now sitting on that car. I could have moved it actually. So because my drawing was pretty much like right on the vehicle right there, this kind of put it there too. I probably should have separated it and it would have been a better photo and it would have totally looked, real. But anyways, that was everything that I wanted to share with you guys in today's video. So make sure you go through the settings, make sure you turn on all of the photo assist type of stuff. Again, you can just do that right through the gallery. So it actually makes it very simple. Pretty much when you take a look at your gallery that's right here, you go inside of your more, you go to settings, photo assist, just make sure it's turned on, and that's how you get all three of these options right there. If you ever want to learn anything else about the Galaxy AI features, you tap there and it takes you to the screen. And anytime that you go inside of this screen here to learn more about everything else, it actually takes you right on back to more Galaxy stuff. So here's your writing assist, you can learn about that. Go back to Galaxy AI, so it always takes you right on back if you would like to learn more. So pretty much that is everything that I wanted to share in today's video. Hopefully you guys have appreciated it. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Let me know if you guys have played around with generative AI just yet, or with editing photos, and what your favorite features are so far on either the Galaxy S24 or the S25. And if you have the S25 series, and you also had the S24 series, do you see a difference between the two generations? But if you guys like the video, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe on the very bottom left-hand side. And if you like this video, then more than likely you'll also like this video. And I'll see you guys later.